KPRC Channel 2. This is Houston Newsmakers with Cambrell Marshall.
And good morning and welcome to this special edition of Houston Newsmakers, where I'll have a conversation with Joseph Jaworski. You may know the name, but perhaps you don't know him. He's been an exceptional lawyer and corporate leader throughout his career, but I would argue that his legacy is not law but leadership. He's the founder of the American Leadership Forum, which has chapters across the country. Houston's Gulf Coast chapter is celebrating 40 years of training collaborative leadership. Now, who are some of the senior fellows of ALF? Well, they are all around you in leadership positions of one kind or another, with responsibility for leading organizations, elected officials, judges, leaders of nonprofit organizations, religious congregations and synagogues. You can see from the faces you're seeing now, people you undoubtedly recognize because they are on the front lines of leading, collaborating, exploring ways to make organizations and by extension our communities better. Joe Jaworski started this organization. I'm delighted to have him here to talk about the journey of ALF and the challenges of leadership in our country. Mr. Jaworski, thank you for joining me this morning. Good to see you.
Oh, it's a privilege to be with you.
40 years ago, you've been working to help people become better leaders.
Yes.
American Leadership Forum, you started 40 years ago.
Yes.
What would you say are some of the key elements needed for somebody to be a great leader?
Well, I would say the capacity to transform current reality, that is, to change current reality. I think that's the definition of true leadership. Someone who can come in and face current circumstances and create new realities, better realities for us all.
ALF started, and the way you started that was you brought people together and put them in an environment where they could really trust each other, learn to trust each other and collaborate.
Yes.
That's a bigger challenge, isn't it, putting that into practice in society at large?
Today?
Yes.
Absolutely. Back 40 years ago, the trust factor was not that great. It was principally a matter of diversity and bringing people together across their different circumstances. But today there is a real rip in the social fabric. There is a real social divide and social fragmentation, and ALF can play a real role in healing that fragmentation.
And I really key on that word, social fragmentation, because now the ALF concept of bringing good quality leaders into a community can play a big role going forward here. The challenge is making that happen in a way that the people in the community can trust that leadership. That's a big challenge.
It is a huge challenge, and first there's two levels of it. First is creating the trust between the leaders themselves. I mean, let's face it. You can see in today's political environment and in business environment, there's a lot of mistrust between the leadership themselves. So ALF has capacity and mechanisms to create huge bonds of trust between the people going through the program. And then, of course, their challenge is to create trust once they're out of the program in the larger social milieu. And this is an enormous task today.
But, and we've talked about this before, it is something that you deem is necessary if we are going to bridge those gaps that are there in society.
There's no question about it. And so one of the things ALF is undertaking is its own renewal process to meet the exigencies of this new dynamic that exists, which is not only anger and violence, it's just a huge divide between people. And the particular mechanism that's going to be created is how do we help these people, once they graduate from ALF, go out in the community and heal this divide themselves.
We've talked about, and I've looked at your bio, and what you've done throughout your life is really focused on transformative leadership kinds of things. Talk about that leader that goes from being a good leader to a transformative leader, the difference between those two.
Yes. Well, those are the two central types of leadership that exist today. One is transactional leadership. It's what we see everywhere. We call them achieving leaders. These are people who have risen to great heights in organizational or civic leadership, but everything is seen as a rather transactional sort of thing. The transformational leader undergoes an internal shift, and the internal capacity tells the difference. This is an inside job, creating the transformational leader. It's about heart and spirit.
And you believe that can be taught to people who have a certain level?
I've done it for 40 years. It can definitely be done. It's not easy, but it's achievable and necessary today.
A lot of people who are now in positions of leadership, political positions of leadership, smart people.
Yes.
But that fracture you talk about is certainly among them, so to speak.
No, I mean, no question about it. A few years ago, the two key members of Congress came to us, to my business partner Susan Taylor and I at Generon International, and asked us to help them create a program to heal the divide, the political divide in Congress, to be able to get both sides of the aisle to trust one another again. And we created that program, put it completely in place. That was during the Obama administration, and as we were anticipating a different outcome, we had that program in place, and then the Trump administration came along, and we abandoned that. But now they've come back to us and suggested that we start planning this again.
That's optimistic.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited about it.
How optimistic are you about our leaders' abilities in this society to be able to keep us out of the figurative ditch, if you will? Because I think that there's a general consensus that democracy is in peril right now.
It is in peril, and I think you're absolutely correct. There's an environment that was created about 20 years ago that is very different than it was back when we started ALF. When we started ALF, my key mentor was John W. Gardner, and his whole way of operating was to create common cause. In fact, he created an organization called Common Cause, which still exists and operates today. And he was the one that helped me form ALF in that image, where we create trust between the people and we create trust in the community. And that trust has disappeared in this current environment. The current environment is one of distrust and of anger and finger pointing.
From what you're telling me, it seems that people who may be even optimistic about our potential going forward, it's going to take time, is it not, to build that back?
It is. There's no question. It's going to take time, effort, and real commitment.
But
high intention.
But you seem to be an optimistic guy about some of this being able to get done.
I was born an optimist, and I am convinced we can do it. It's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take money. It's going to take resources to create this new infrastructure where we can do it.
1 minute left. ALF, 40 years ago, you started the organization, and it's grown chapters across the country. How proud of you about that legacy that you will be leaving?
Well, I am proud of it. It means everything to me. I was talking to my business partner a moment ago, and I realized the thing that I'm most passionate about in my life is ALF.
And we are most passionate because of, as we showed the video earlier, of all the people in our community who are members of the American Leadership Forum. Many who you don't see are also doing that as well, and that is a result of what has gone on because of your program. Joseph Jaworski, thank you. Thank you for what you've done.
It's a privilege to be with you.
Always a pleasure to see you. There's a Jaworski Award every year that's given for people who are doing leadership things of greatness, and so it's named after him for good reason for that. You can look for additional conversation with Joseph Jaworski on the Newsmakers page on click2houston.com. Just